Any member of this family that enters the professional wrestling business knows about the expectations that are gonna be on their back. They know about the prestige that their very name carries. They know that those who came before them have accomplished so much. Bearing the weight of those legacies can prove to be way too much for almost anyone. But that was never the case for Jimmy and Jey Uso. Jimmy and Jey Uso looked to be stars from the very start, constantly evolving their look, style, and offense as they progressed in their careers. Face paint and war dances would fade away, and the two would embrace the day one-ish mentality, looking to punish opponents and send them to the Uso penitentiary. The Usos are 8-time WWE Tag Team Champions. The Usos have main evented WrestleMania after initially fighting for a mere spot on the card. The Usos were the premier team of the 2010s. The Usos are the greatest team of all time. Jimmy and Jey are poetry in motion, each knowing what the other is looking to do next, each using every bit of savvy they gained growing up in professional wrestling to keep their edge. And sure, in recent years, it's been difficult between the two. Jimmy did cost Jey his match at SummerSlam against your tribal chief, Roman Reigns. After months of the anger building between the two, Jimmy and Jey ended up as the first two entrants in the 2024 Royal Rumble match, bringing things to a head. But even that moment wasn't enough to settle the issue, and so they would fight again at WrestleMania 40. Jey Uso truly became main event and found his inner yeet, even adding another tag team championship with Cody Rhodes as his partner. As your wise man eventually would suffer as well, Jimmy found himself betrayed by Solo Sikoa and unceremoniously dumped out of Solo's version of the Bloodline. When Jimmy and Jey are a tag team, they are pure art. They are the reason for the resurgence of tag team wrestling's popularity over the last 15 years. And perhaps, oh, perhaps, their grandest moment came during the 2017 Hell in a Cell, when they would lock horns with perhaps their greatest opposition ever, The New Day. From July to October of that year, the SmackDown Tag Team titles would change hands 4 times between the two teams, both looking for ultimate bragging rights. The Usos' connection as twins always gave them an upper hand with most teams, but the New Day had their own trick, utilizing the Freebird rule to allow any 2 of the 3 members to compete in any match. Jimmy and Jey could never know for sure who the opponents would be, with a different game plan needed for each iteration. With nothing clearly settled after 4 months, the New Day would offer to defend inside Hell in a Cell, and the Usos gladly accepted. We've seen the Usos showcase tag team wrestling at its most beautiful. Now we want you to showcase the brutality that exists within Hell in a Cell. Big E and Xavier Woods are going to use everything at their disposal to take you down. But you've been down since day 1. Now it's time to force the New Day to realize there's nothing wrong with them being in second place, and there's nothing that's stopping you inside Hell in a Cell. Next on our showcase is someone who wasn't born into this family, but has put in the time and more than earned her spot. She's always happy to leave haters in the rear view, and when she enters the room, you will undoubtedly feel the glow. Of course, I'm talking about Naomi, who many of you may know has reigned as Jimmy Uso's wife and queen for over 10 years. There's the old saying that behind every good man is an even better woman, and this could not ring more true than Naomi, who I will say is an absolute treasure. Jimmy will frequently speak during old bloodline planning sessions about how much her support and love drove him to improve as a superstar, always stressing her importance not only to the WWE Women's Division, but to his career and his life as well. In the ring, there is no denying Naomi's skills. The former women's tag team and two-time SmackDown Women's Champion has the mental tenacity to push through the toughest part of any match and possesses breathtaking physical skills. Naomi uses her dancing background to constantly innovate with her offense, resulting in some of the most beautiful moves you will ever see, unless you're on the receiving end of them. Naomi is an inspiration to so many of our younger members of the WWE Universe, showing a new generation that anything is possible if you just put in the work and never stop believing in yourself. Naomi has battled against the very best in the women's division, taking on foes like Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Shayna Baszler, and Io Sky.
My favorite moment of Naomi was when she won the title in her hometown, Orlando, at WrestleMania.
To compete against that caliber and maintain the level of success that Naomi has for her entire WWE career is something worth, shall I dare say, acknowledging. Naomi has even teamed with fellow family member Tamina through the years, proving the family you choose can often be the most important. And in true Uso fashion, Naomi shows an unrelenting desire to win, to achieve greatness, and to dominate her opposition. Many mistake her smile as a sign of kindness, but they quickly realize their mistake as Naomi unleashes a flurry of kicks, flies at them with moonsaults from all angles, and then ties them up in knots. Naomi is having fun, but Naomi is never playing. And now, we take you back to the 2020 edition of Super Showdown, which saw Naomi challenge Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Unfortunately, a ridiculously lax referee decided it was just fine for Bayley to basically do whatever the hell she wanted.
Bayley's, oh my gosh, she's trapping Naomi's legs in her shirt.
And Naomi wound up suffering an embarrassing loss after Bayley used wardrobe to her advantage. Well, Bayley, we can pretty much guarantee that trick won't work again. This is your chance to help guide Naomi to a third SmackDown Women's Championship, and to do it by defeating one of the greatest competitors WWE has ever seen. Your wise man has nothing but respect and admiration for Bayley's abilities, but those abilities are eclipsed by Naomi's extraordinary trinity: smarts, strength, and aerial attacks that should give all of you everything you need to get the win and the title. Ladies and gentlemen, if it weren't for the next two superstars in our showcase, none of this would be possible. Because without Atha and Sika, without the wild Samoans, there truly is no dynasty. While it was their father who made the blood oath with High Chief Peter Maivia, it was Atha and Sika who built the family up, training generations of relatives, all with the single goal of becoming the best professional wrestler on the face of the planet. And while the two would together be WWE Hall of Famers, based solely on their work as trainers and cultivators of the next generation, their in-ring successes only add to their immortality. Atha and Sika formed WWE's most dominant tag team of the early 1980s, fighting their way to the WWE Tag Team Championship on 3 separate occasions. Opponents were often defeated before the bell even rang to start the match, falling victim to the aura and the intimidation factor of having to step into the ring with the wild Samoans. Accompanied by Captain Lou Albano, the trio formed a masterful group that was able to take all opponents off their game, be it through Albano's devious schemes or the overpowering nature of the wild Samoans. WWE had never dealt with a team so primal, turning each match into a battle of survival. Most feared, the deadly Samoan drop, a move that has been imitated by many, but duplicated only by a chosen few.
There they are, the wild Samoans.
These are immigrants coming from the island, trying to figure it out, trying to find a way. I couldn't imagine being these men. I couldn't imagine taking on these responsibilities of setting the tone in a whole new country. And then trying to break into entertainment on top of that. But they made it work. And that's what we are. We're workers. We make it work.
These tribal elders set the standard for all of their descendants to not only follow, but they also taught their descendants how to surpass it. So beloved were the two that perhaps no moment holds more significance to your tribal chief, Roman Reigns, than when he was presented the Ula Fala by his father Sika and Uncle Atha after the 2020 Hell in a Cell event. You see, it was their acknowledgement that gave Roman Reigns the unshakable confidence to continue his journey to becoming the greatest of all time.
The utmost respect, love, and gratitude for those men. Because if my father and uncle don't do what they do, we're not here.
We now humbly present to you the honor of walking in the famed footsteps of the wild Samoans, finding a tag team in WWE's long and storied history that we felt would test the wild Samoans was not an easy task. But then a thought came to your wise man. why not give the audience exactly what they want? Why not put the Wild Samoans against one of the greatest tag teams of all time? Why not present Alpha, Sika, the Wild Samoans versus Bubba Ray and Devon, the Dudley Boys? And if we're going to go that far, let's do it in a tables match. Showcase that savage brutality that made both teams the eternal legends we know them to be. No pinfalls, no submissions, no rules. Just be the team that avoids being put through the table, and you will emerge victorious. And with these four men, you better believe that things are going to get extreme. From the very moment he arrived as the enforcer of the bloodline, Solo Sikoa has taken every brutal, savage element of his predecessors and refined them into a near-perfect smashing machine. Even in the year before his arrival, Solo raised eyebrows and garnered buzz while competing in NXT. But nobody could have predicted just how smoothly his transition to the main roster would go. And before I go on any further, let me make one thing perfectly clear. I'm only saying what I'm saying about Solo Sikoa because I am a wise man. I'm a professional. And because I'm being handsomely compensated for my stellar work as your host of the WWE 2K25 Showcase. I haven't forgotten what Solo Sikoa and his rogue bloodline did to me. But I also know better than to let personal feelings hinder your professional endeavors. So with that being said, since his arrival at Clash at the Castle in 2022, Solo Sikoa has consistently been involved in WWE's biggest moments and biggest matches. He's been victorious in War Games. He's repeatedly enforced the Bloodline's will to maintain Roman Reigns' status as undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion.
I brought Solo in as an insurance policy. Solo was here to protect me. Solo was here to maintain the promised land. He's violent. He's strong, he's fast, he's all those things. And he betrayed me. Any man who would betray me must be a very dangerous man.
Solo defeated John Cena. Solo elected to betray your tribal chief, Roman Reigns, in an attempt to bestow upon himself the title of tribal chief. When I refused to acknowledge Solo as my tribal chief, you are not my tribal. He, Tamatonga, Tongaloa, and Jacob Fatu put me through a table in Madison Square Garden. And that led to opportunities to compete for the undisputed WWE Heavyweight Championship. It's led to more visibility with Solo's rogue bloodline ruling over SmackDown. Every choice Solo made only furthered his standing in WWE. He has the bloodlust of the Wild Samoans, the brutality of his cousin Yokozuna, and the single-minded focus of Roman Reigns, all rolled into one. There is no question. The future is his for the taking. and that he will be champion many times over, and that he may set records of his own before it's all said and done. Few men have so quickly served notice to all of WWE in the manner that Solo Sikoa has done. Whether you want to acknowledge him or not is irrelevant. One way or another, Solo Sikoa forces you to do just that, or you will suffer severe consequences. One by one, each and every single superstar on the WWE roster is going to find that out. Solo will make sure of it. I, of course, will simply await any and every opportunity for your tribal chief, Roman Reigns, to teach Solo some manners. Until that happens, though, we are taking you back to the one-year anniversary special for NXT 2.0, which saw then North American champion Carmelo Hayes, and indeed, he is him, issue an open challenge. Unfortunately for the future superstar, it was to be answered by Solo Sikoa, and things went as well for Hayes as you can probably guess. Showcase the unrelenting fury that has made Solo Sikoa nearly unstoppable and defeat Carmelo Hayes to earn Solo his first championship victory. It won't be easy against Carmelo, especially when he has Trick Williams watching his back. And if you make one mistake against the champ, he'll take his shot and most likely hit nothing but